from Southside Chicago. I've been living in London now for about 7 years. Well, I've been very creative ever since I was a child. I've dabbled with many different kind of art forms. I love art, I'm very creative, I'm a very artistic person, but I've never really found anything that I was like 100% comfortable with until I discovered street art, stencil work, and it's so far been my favorite kind of medium. Well, first of all, the reason why I did the Amy Winehouse piece wasn't to get any sort of like media attention. It purely was coming from the heart. As an Amy Winehouse fan and somebody that knew her, I wanted to do it as a tribute to her. And to be honest, I never really expected any kind of feedback whatsoever. I never expected any kind of attention from it. So to actually get some attention and to get recognized for my work, it's something that's been truly amazing for me, because I never expected it. I never asked for it. I never went looking for it. So. I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for coming out and saying this is who I am, but at the end of the day, I'm not political. I'm not political the way Banksy is, but although saying that, I've always admired his work, and I've even done this tour around the UK trying to find his work and keep my own personal portfolio of everything that he's done, purely because I'm such a huge admirer of his work. And one of the things that I found really amazing through this whole experience was the fact that people were comparing my work to his, and I believe his people made a statement saying it's not his work, but it's very nice anyway. And that to me was very it's human nature. It's the same with with celebrities. You're going to get some people that are on one person's camp, and you're going to get some people that are not. So that's just the way that it's just all part of the business, isn't it? Okay, well it all started, it started by accident really. It was when Blake was in prison. I was walking home and I lived near the prison where he was, and she just happened to be kind of standing right outside the prison. I'm assuming she was just kind of like visiting him at the time. And I remember walking towards her and not really recognizing who she was at first, and then the closer I got to her, the more I started to see it was actually her. And then our eyes kind of met, and then she kind of looked at me and she's like, you ain't got a ciggy, have you, darling? And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. And then from there, that was my first encounter with her. And then I had another encounter, like completely out of the blue and unexpected. A friend of mine, which I didn't know at the time, was friends with her. And I went to kind of like a birthday bash, and Amy was there. So it's something that I'll always kind of keep in my heart, basically, because she was nothing like what people kind of portray her in the media. She was such a lovely and down-to-earth woman.
I can totally connect with you in the sense of, yes, doing research on her. The way she, as a writer, I write my song, and I did my research how she written her the moment I don't have notes, but she actually done a pastiche of past artists. And as a writer, I was like, she just literally connects, observes things around her, uses it creatively. Fifth question, which you answered early on to us, but what drives you to do celebrity?
I'm a pop artist. Being American, it's part of my culture. We're celebrity obsessed. One of my biggest inspirations, since I've been a child, was Andy Warhol. I've always loved his work. I've always kind of admired his prints. I've tried to do my own kind of similar pop prints myself, not very successfully. For me, my art, I think, reflects my personality, and I don't want to go political. I don't want to do anything too heavy. I just want to keep it light.
Yeah.
And to me, that's my way of expressing my images of certain celebrities. Well, I was down Oxford Street when I found out that she had passed away, and I literally got a phone call from a really close friend who was friends with her. And I was in complete shock, and I started crying, even though like I didn't really know her as well as my friend did. I was in complete state of shock. And the first thing that I thought was I need to do something to kind of pay tribute to this amazing British icon. And I went home and I searched through hundreds and hundreds of photos of Amy, and I could not find any photo that kind of I have this image in my head. It's literally stamped in my head of Amy Winehouse when I was in her presence, and it's kind of this really fun kind of goofy character that pulls these funny faces. But all the photos that I came across were very candid photos of her where she was posing and smiling, and I thought, no, that's not the Amy that I know. And then I saw this one photograph of her where she's pulling this like kind of dodgy face, and I thought that's the one. Like that's the Amy that I know. Yeah, and I literally I looked at her and I thought that's the Amy that I know, and that's how I'm gonna pay tribute to her. I don't think. You know what? This is the problem with celebrities. Like no matter who it is, the same with Michael Jackson, the same with Marilyn Monroe. Whenever a celebrity dies, immediately there's gonna be that kind of a conspiracy theory. Was it was their death because of their own hand, or was it because of somebody else? And to be honest, as sad as this is, I truly do not believe that foul play had anything to do with anyone else's death. For me, it's one thing I've always said about Amy was that somebody who's so talented in that way, somebody with such an amazing voice, somebody who's so powerful in the British music industry can self-destruct that way. And that is the most sad thing about this whole experience, and the fact that she was my age as well. I, it's for me, it's very difficult to kind of answer that question because like I've in my life I've had so many different goals and I've had so many different career paths, but like I would like to actually be recognized as an important pop artist because that's something that I've always wanted to be established as. Yeah, even though people are, because I've come across a site, it's kind of anti my work where people are saying that street art is dead because somebody like myself has come out and said that basically I'm the artist and I'm showing myself, whereas a lot of graffiti artists tend to stay kind of behind the curtain a bit and it's more about the art. And literally the only reason why I've come out and I'm doing this piece is because I'm not like Banksy, whereas Banksy's very political. He has a very strong message. Mine is more about paying tribute to the amazing people who have left an impact in this world, who have become such strong, iconic women and men, examples to people all over